Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for class 8th. Today is our third class that is on antonyms. So we will be understanding what antonyms are, learning its various examples and also moving on to solve its various questions. So let's get started.
So the first question that comes is, what exactly are antonyms? You see, अगर synonyms का meaning आप याद करो, तो synonyms क्या थे? You should try to remember and write that down कि synonyms क्या थे? Now synonyms were the words which had similar meanings. जैसे happy and joyful, right? जैसे sad and depressed, words with similar meanings. But यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? यहाँ पे you see negative and positive. Either you see happy and sad. You see above and below. Now here if you can notice, here the situation is that all these words are opposite to each other. These words mean exactly the opposite. So the words which mean opposite to each other, they are called antonyms. Synonyms थे the words which are similar to each other, which mean the same. And antonyms are the words which mean opposite to each other, right? Now we will do examples. हम examples करेंगे तो आपको ज़्यादा अच्छे से टॉपिक समझ आएगा, आपको उसकी प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीकेशन समझ आएगी और क्वेश्चंस सॉल्व तभी होंगे जब आप एग्जाम्पल्स अच्छे से समझ पाए और फिर क्वेश्चंस में इन्हें यूज कर पाए. ओके Okay, so here you can see a few examples. Combine is the antonym of separate. Clockwise opposite is anti-clockwise. Correct, the antonym is incorrect. Conceal, which means to hide something. Reveal means unveil it, show it. Right. Come and go. Common and rare. Comfort and discomfort. Courage and cowardice. Cruel and kind. Courteous could be the opposite of discourteous or rude. Alright, these are a few antonyms. They are the opposites of each other, which means what combine means is the opposite of what separate means, and so on and so forth. Here we have a few more examples for you. Happy and sad, which we did. Hard and soft. Heavy and light. High and low. In and out. Last and first. Laugh and cry. Hasna, rona. Pehla, आखरी. अंदर, बाहर. ऊपर, नीचे. Getting it? Learn and teach. Less and more. Kam, ज़्यादा. Lie and truth. Remember I told you on the previous slide? False and true हो जाएगा lie and truth. Long and short. लंबा and छोटा. Loose and tight. Lost, found. Love, hate. North, south. On and off. Over and under. play and work, polite and rude, poor and rich, present and absent. When your teacher takes your attendance, you either say present ma'am when you're in the class, or you say for somebody who's not there, you say absent ma'am. Right? Top and bottom, quick and slow. अब देख रहे हैं इन सब में similarities क्या हैं? Similarities are that both of them, they mean the opposite. So let's move on. A few more examples, we will go over them quickly. Raise and lower. Raise मतलब किसी चीज को ऊंचा करना, lower मतलब नीचा करना. Right? Increase and decrease. Right and wrong. Rise and sink. Rough and smooth. Same and different. Sell and buy. Short and long. Sour and sweet. Start and stop. Stay and leave. Stop and go. Strong and weak. Teacher and student. Tidy and messy. True and false. Ugly and beautiful. Up and down. White and black. Wild and tame. Wild and tame, if you don't know the meaning, tame करना किसी को control कर लेना जैसे होता है. Wild, when something or somebody is not in your control, they are running wild. Like wild animals जो होते हैं, they are the ones जो control के बाहर हो जाते हैं. Tame are the ones जो अपने control कर लिया है. They're going as per your instructions. Win and lose. Well and sick. How are you feeling? I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling well. But if you are unwell, you say I'm feeling sick. Wet and dry. Young and old. All right. Here are a few examples, few more examples. Like virtue is the opposite of vice. Visible, the opposite of invisible. Voluntary, the opposite of compulsory. Vowel, the opposite of consonant. Wax is the antonym of vain. Wisdom is the antonym of folly. Within, opposite of without. Alright, so you've seen so many examples of antonyms. Now let's move on. Now we will be doing the quiz. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO, so it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct. So you should, in that case, play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. Okay, so now we start off with the questions on antonyms. Here, choose the correct antonym of the given word. We are given a word, and from the given options, we have to choose the opposite. Alright, the antonym. Antonyms are the words which mean the opposite. Now here, there might not be words which mean exactly the opposite, but you have to choose the one which is like the nearest to a correct antonym, because these are what? These are objective questions. One question will be correct. In the OMR sheet, there will be, this is not subjective, that a person gives you half a mark, or say, if 2 marks ka hai to 1 mark mil gaya. It's not like that. It is going to be either full marks or no marks, right? So accordingly, there will be one correct answer in the OMR sheet that you will have to fill, and that answer will be taken as correctly by the computer. So let's see. The first word is abandon. The options are leave, resign, renounce, or adopt. Here we have to choose the antonym. Be careful. Antonym, the word which means the opposite. Here the correct answer is the adopt. Adopt means taking something over, whereas abandoning means leaving something. So here all these can be synonyms of each other. Abandon, leave, resign, renounce, and the antonym is adopt. Okay, here we have the word abuse. The options are A, ill-treat, B, damage, C, praise, or D, destroy. Here the antonym of abuse is C, praise. Praise means appreciating someone or something, right? Saying good things about them. Whereas the other options like here abuse, ill-treat, damage, destroy, they actually mean not treating someone or something nicely, damage, destroy, spoiling something. All right. Okay, here the word is abstain. The options are restrain, quit, forbear, or indulge. Now here the correct answer, which means the antonym of abstain, is indulge. Indulge means getting involved in something, right? Involving yourself. Whereas here we have abstain. Abstain means not getting involved, stopping yourself from getting involved from something. Like I abstained from attending the class. So that would mean you did not attend the class and you stopped yourself from going over there. So that is abstaining. Then the other words like restraining, restraining also is on similar lines. Quit, leaving something. Forbear also, restraining, refraining. These are the words which mean the same. These are synonyms of each other. So you see in the chapters of synonyms and antonyms, what is happening is we are not only learning about the synonyms, but also the antonyms of certain words. So in one question, you not only learn the correct answer, but also more antonyms and more synonyms. So it keeps adding on to your vocabulary. All right, here the word is accountable. Here the options are guilty, countable, C, innocent, or D, punishable. Now here the antonym is innocent. Now why innocent? Let me explain. Guilty, accountable, countable, punishable, actually referring to someone who is responsible for something. Okay, guilty, someone who's done the criminal act, right, or the wrong thing. Accountable, countable, punishable, someone who is responsible, someone whom we can account for the mistake or anything. Right, whereas innocent is someone who who is not guilty, who's not done anything. All right. Okay, here we have the next word, accurate. The options are precise, deceptive, particular, or certain. Here the antonym, the word which means the opposite of accurate, is be deceptive. Deceptive is something that is misleading. Alright. Whereas others like accurate, precise, particular, certain, something that is true and that you are sure of. These are synonyms, whereas deceptive is an antonym. Okay, so here the next word is combination. The options are detachment, unite, amalgamate, or gathering. The antonym of combination is a detachment. Okay, now detachment means removal from something, whereas here combination, unite, amalgamate, gathering, they actually refer to a group or this act of uniting people. Some people, gathering together, coming together. That's combination, unite, amalgamate, or gathering. Okay, here the next word is commissioned. The options are started, end, onset, and origin. Pretty easy. The antonym is what? Be, end. It is self-explanatory. The other words like commission, started, onset, origin, they are the synonyms of each other. They actually mean the beginning of something. You know, I commissioned it, which means I started it, started, onset, origin. All right. Okay, the next word is concrete. Here the options are particular, firm, abstract and real. The antonym of concrete is abstract. Abstract, something that is, you know, not final, something that is in a draft manner, not really clear. That's an abstract. Whereas others like concrete, particular, firm, real, they refer to something that is very clear and precise. Okay. All right, now next we have consequence. Here the options are symmetry, follow, consider and origin. Here the antonym of consequence could be said to be origin. Origin, the starting of something, the birth of something, whereas consequence refers to the certain thing that follows. All right, the follow-up thing, like here follow is also a synonym of consequence, right? Okay, here we have consolidate. The options are weaken, expand, fortify and build. Consolidate, the antonym, the word which means the opposite is weaken. Weaken, as its name suggests, weaken means a weakening of something, like reduction of its strength, of its value, decreasing it, whereas consolidating something, bringing it together, expanding, build, fortify, all these refer to bringing something together, building it, improving it, increasing it. So all these are synonyms. Okay, next up we have credible. Here the options are unchangeable, unpopular, unbelievable, or invincible. Here the antonym of credible is C, unbelievable. Unbelievable is something that cannot be believed, that you think is not true. That is unbelievable. Whereas others, like where we have credible, something that is true. All right. Unchangeable, something that cannot be changed, so it can also be called credible because it is true. Then we have unpopular, something that is not popular. Invincible can also be said to be synonym in one sense, because invincible refers to something that cannot change or end or die. Okay. Here we have gallant. Here the options are fine, bold, coward, and frolic. So gallant actually means someone, is an adjective. It refers to someone who's strong. So which one would be the antonym? Here, C, coward. Coward, someone who's fearful, is also an adjective. Right. Now the other words like fine and bold and frolic also. Actually, bold is a direct synonym of gallant, but here fine and frolic, they actually refer to someone who's good and cheerful. Okay, these are not direct synonyms, they're different words. Here the synonym is bold. Okay, here the word is gloomy. The options are A. Devotional, B. Rejoicing, C. Disconsolate, or D. Dim. Now, gloomy is something that is, as an adjective, we say it refers to something was sad. Okay, it depicts sorrow. Whereas, antonym of, I'm sorry. So the antonym of gloomy is B. Rejoicing. If you see the other words like here dim, it can be said to be a synonym. Then we have disconsolate. Disconsolate also means someone is an adjective, someone who's unhappy and sorrowful. Okay, and then we have devotional. Devotional actually refers to something who is religious and sacred, holy. So here synonyms are disconsolate and dim. Alright, the next word is hale. The options are freak, stout, weak, and valor. So here the antonym of hale is weak. Weak, we know someone who depicts the lack of braveness, meager and weak. Whereas hale means someone who's strong and healthy. Okay, so here the antonyms the synonyms valor depicts strength. Then we have freak, who is actually someone who is not not as per the usual, not as per the usual norms, who's sort of different. So people usually in an informal manner call them freak. Okay, stout of a person who's heavily built and rather fat. So it can also be called a synonym. Okay. Alright, here the next word is magnify. The options are reduce, induce, produce, or enjoy. Pretty easy. Magnify, the antonym is A, reduce. Magnify, like when you see through a magnifying glass, it increases the size. Right, so reduce is the antonym, decreasing something. Then produce, induce, these also can be said to be synonyms. Okay, so the next word we have is melodious. The options are agreeable, mellow, harsh, and innovative. So the antonym of melodious is harsh. Melodious means something, that's soft and gentle and smooth. The options, so the antonym is harsh. Okay, here we have myth. The options are tale, fact, fiction, and saga. Now, myth refers to something that is not true. So we have to choose the antonym. The antonym will be the word that is true, which is fact. Other words like tale, fiction, saga, they refer to fictional stories, all right? They are made up stories, not true. Okay, so here the next word is opponent, and here the options are rival, enemy, pal, and con. So here opponent, the antonym of opponent is the pal. Pal actually means someone who's your friend, whereas others like rival, enemy, these are enemies, not your well-wishers. Con, someone who fools you. Okay. Alright, now the next word we have is overwrought. Here the options are A. Frantic, B. Tense, C. Wary, or D. Calm. Now the antonym of overwrought is D. Calm. Overwrought, calm means something that's peaceful, serene, whereas overwrought, frantic, tense, wary, something, full of tension and anxiety. Right. Okay, the next word we have is permit. Here the options are A. Give, B. Forbid, C. Allow, or D. Acknowledge. Permit means allowing something. So the antonym here is B. Forbid. Forbid, saying no to something. Alright. The other words give, allow, acknowledge. They are saying yes to or allowing something, agreeing to something. Alright. These are synonyms. Okay, so here we have the next word as proficient. Here the options are clumsy, managed, spiritual, and fruitful. So here the antonym of proficient is clumsy. Clumsy is someone who's inefficient, messes things up, clumsy, drops things, falls down, clumsy person. This proficient is someone who's very well managed and efficient, all right? So proficient can be a synonym of managed. Yeah, fruitful is something that's advantageous, spiritual something that involves the spirit, that's maybe sort of religious or holy. Alright, the next word is queer. The options are common, strange, unique, or odd. Queer is actually referred to something that is either strange or unique or odd, and the antonym thus is common. Common, something that's regular, general, usual. Okay, here the next word is rational. The options are logical, sound, insane, and moral. Rational refers to something that is correct and is based on facts. All right. So the antonym is insane. Insane, something that is just crazy and not backed by any logical explanation. The others like rash, logical, sound, moral, these can be said to be synonyms, whereas insane is an antonym. Okay, the next up is rigid. The options are hard, toxic, strong, and flexible. So the antonym pretty easy is flexible. Flexible, something that is not rigid, can be moved easily, right? Whereas other rigid, hard, strong, these are the synonyms. Whereas toxic, something that is bad for you, bad for your health, involves toxicity. Okay. Okay, so the next word is seldom. Options are occasionally, frequently, hardly, or rarely. Okay, so here which you have to choose the antonym. Antonym. Seldom is something that happens often. Sorry, seldom is something that happens rarely. So the antonym would be frequently, something that happens often, on more occasion. Whereas other words like occasionally, hardly, rarely, seldom, they mean something that happens a less number of times. All right, now next the word is severe. The options are harsh, mild, strict and relentless. Here the correct answer, which means the antonym of severe, is be mild. Okay, mild is something that's usual and doesn't really affect much, lacking seriousness. Whereas other words like severe, harsh and strict, and even relentless is something that is harsh and intense. So all these are synonyms of each other. All right, now next, here we have timid. The other options are thirsty, coy, courageous or feeble. Timid refers to someone who's shy. Okay, lacks energy. So the antonym could be courageous. It's full of strength and courage and braveness. All right. Okay, so the next word is trivial. Here the options are A, serious, B, petty, C, calm or D, paltry. Now, trivial actually refers to something that doesn't have much value. Alright, so the antonym of trivial could be A, serious. Here, A, serious. Serious, something that has significant value. So the other words like petty and even paltry, something that, meager. So all these are synonyms, whereas serious is an antonym. Calm is something that is peaceful. Alright, now the next word is weary. Here the options are taxed, lethargic, jaded, or energetic. Now, weary refers to someone who's tired, okay, and sort of stressed out. That's weary. So the antonym is de-energetic. Alright. Here you see a weary, taxed also someone who's worked a lot and lacks enthusiasm, even jaded, who's exhausted. So all these are synonyms of each other. Okay, so here the next word is zeal. The options are passion, enthusiasm, splendor, and apathy. So here the antonym of zeal is apathy. Apathy actually refers to the state where someone lacks enthusiasm, lacks energy. Alright. Whereas other words like zeal, passion, enthusiasm, splendor, they refer to the nouns involving a lot of enthusiasm and energy and interest. Okay. All right, now here we have Here we have the last 5 questions. These are the HOTS questions of the Achievers section. So do them very carefully. Choose the correct antonym, same process. The word is audacious and the options are risky, bold, reckless or cautious. Now here the antonym is cautious. Cautious refers to someone who takes steps very carefully, thinks over a lot and does everything in a safe manner. Whereas other words like audacious, one who has a lot of audacity, risky, bold, reckless, someone who doesn't really what I can say, thinks or will act safely. Okay, they act with a lot of courage and even take hasty decisions. Audacious, risky, bold and reckless. All right. All right, now the next word is exotic. Here the options are strange, native, curious and mysterious. Exotic, strange, native, curious and mysterious. Here the correct answer, which means the opposite of exotic, is native. Native is something that you're aware of, that belongs to we can say your local area, right? You're a native of India, you belong to India. Whereas others like exotic, strange and even mysterious, something that you are not really aware of, that you're not acquainted with. All right, so it is not your, what you can say, not, does not really belong to you. Okay. Okay, the next word is rebuke. Here the options are A, snub, B, blame, or C, approval, or D, rap. Here the antonym of rebuke is C, approval. Approval means saying yes to something, right? Approving it, agreeing with it. Whereas rebuke means, like taking it back, saying no to something. And so does here snub also, and even blame. They also refer to ignoring something, or like ignoring and like shifting the blame, rebuking, not replying in a good manner. Okay. Then we have rap. Rap is actually that I'm pretty sure you know what rap is these days. Okay, now here the next word is deplore. Here the options are approve, mourn, regret and abhor. So here the antonym is approve. Approve means saying yes to something, passing it on, saying that it's okay. Whereas other options like here deplore, mourn, regret and even abhor actually refer to a sort of not liking whatever has happened and what do we call? Criticizing it. Okay, that's deploring or mourning or regretting or abhorring. Okay, the next word is tedious. Here the options are boring, drab, exciting or dreary. Okay, pretty easy. The antonym is exciting. Exciting actually refers to something that is very interesting, you know, and you have an interest in it, whereas tedious, boring, drab, dreary, they refer to something that doesn't involve a lot of energy and you don't have much interest in it. All right. So that's it. With this we finish off with the questions on antonyms. You see what we've done in each question. We've not just learnt about the antonym but various synonyms of one word or the other as well. So I hope it has been a fruitful exercise solving these questions and you have understood them. So that's all.
That's all for our class on antonyms. I hope you have understood what antonyms really are. When do we have to, these kind of questions, when they are asked, you have to correctly identify the antonym of the word. So it is important that you know substantial amount of them, some substantial amount of words for these antonyms. So make sure you have your list prepared, and if there's any mistake you made in the question that we discussed, make sure you rectify them and don't make those mistakes again. Keep revising and keep learning. I will see you the next time.